Amazing. You've booked your hotel, you've booked your flight, and now you are ready to take your first, or maybe it's your only, vacation in 2020. In today's video, I'm going to share with you the 7 things that CNN says you should not do on the aircraft. And as a flight attendant for a major US carrier, I'm going to let you know if I strongly agree or strongly disagree. And if you are new to my channel, I'd like to welcome you aboard my fierce and fabulous family, where we keeps it real, we keeps it cute, or we put it on mute. So you guys, the first thing the CNN says you should not do on the aircraft in 2020 is bring an untrained emotional support animal on board. Hands down, CNN, who have you been talking to? Because I strongly agree with this. You guys, I will say, out of my 5 years of flying, I have not experienced any untrained emotional support animals. However, the stories exist. Those things do exist. And just as a courtesy to other passengers, if you know that your dog, your cat, your emotional support pig, your emotional support cow, horse, whatever your emotional support animal is not trained, then perhaps you could be a little courteous by maybe purchasing an extra seat or letting the gate agent know in advance, like, hey, my emotional support camel is like really crazy when it gets around other people. That way the agent can maybe try to sit you somewhere where your emotional support camel will not bite the next person. The second thing the CNN says you should not do on the aircraft is get drunk. Y'all, can I say it louder for the people in the back? Do not get drunk on the aircraft. So let me let you in on a little something that I only started realizing since becoming a flight attendant. Now, I've done no research on this, don't know a thing about it, except there's something about drinking in the air that takes you up there. Even myself, like, I've had red wine non-revving on the plane, and non-revving means flying as a passenger. I've had red wine and it just feels like I'm on another level. Like on some Travis Scott, I'm the highest in the room. Like, it's crazy. So one thing I want to say is just know that, like, on the ground you could have 2 drinks and be totally fine, but then in the air you could have 2 drinks and then it's like, ooh. Listen, get your drink on, live your best life. However, don't get drunk on the aircraft, because you know what? I don't want you to make the headlines for some crazy stuff. So, the third thing that CNN says you should not do on the aircraft is harass fellow passengers. So it specifically says that in October of 2019, a passenger was on board and she was going from London to DC. She received a series of inappropriate messages via the airline's in-flight messaging service. Now, really, like, come on, y'all. No type of harassment is tolerable. It's not accepted by any means, not in person, not sending messages on the aircraft. Can we just not? Okay? Let's move on to number 4. So the 4th thing that CNN says you should not do is buy a ticket but not board the airplane. Now, CNN, I've agreed with you on number 1, 2, and 3. But let's talk about number 4 real quick. Okay, so I'm going to tell you what CNN said. In September of 2019, a man was arrested for buying a ticket to walk his wife to the gate with no intention to board the flight. This was in Singapore. So, okay, CNN, I have to strongly disagree with this one. Let me tell you why. As a flight attendant, we fly standby. If a passenger buys a seat with no intention to get on board the aircraft, that's a plus for me, because that means there's going to be an extra seat for myself or my colleagues to hop on that flight and get to wherever we're trying to go. So I have to say, number 4, hey, live your best life. If you want to waste your coins in 2020 by buying a seat and not getting on the aircraft, now, I don't know if you should be just going through security, walking your loved one. I ain't got nothing to say about that part. But if you don't want to get on and you just want to spend your coin, okay. So before I even tell you guys what number 5 is, I strongly agree. Like, I strongly agree. You guys probably know. Number 5, CNN says do not take your shoes off on the aircraft. I couldn't agree more. Seriously, don't do it. Just don't. It's so rude. And honestly, because your feet are yours, you are just so used to how they smell that it's become the norm to you. However, when you take your shoes off on board the aircraft, those dogs started barking. Not only are y'all taking your shoes off, but you're also putting your feet up and all over stuff. Listen, guys, just don't do it. Let's just be courteous in 2020 going forward. In life, in general, don't take your shoes off. CNN says there's something about bare feet on flights that seem to get to people. Perhaps that's why socks are usually included in first class amenity kits. And back in July 2019, a shoeless passenger sent shockwaves across social media when he was captured on video using his bare feet to operate his in-flight entertainment screen. I can't. And they said his hands were fully functional. I can't. So let's talk about number 6. So CNN says you should not sleepwalk on the aircraft. I agree. I strongly agree. And I agree because some things could happen with your sleepwalking, right? Like you could think that you're opening a bathroom door and then be opening the airplane door, and that's not going to be good for you or anybody else on board that aircraft. So yeah, just take your seat, buckle up, and don't sleepwalk. So let's move on to number 7. CNN says you should not fake a job, illness, or your entire identity. What? It says, how do you get upgraded at the airport? There are all sorts of theories, but one thing's for sure, lying about your identity isn't the best plan. So it says, sure, Leonardo DiCaprio made it look glamorous in the 2002 movie Catch Me If You Can, but pretending to be an airplane pilot is definitely a no-no. So apparently there was someone who did that. Someone who was a frequent flyer on Lufthansa pretended to be a pilot to try to get a seat upgrade, and someone also pretended to be a senior citizen in India. Like, I cannot. So let's not do that, because contrary to what you may think, flight attendants are super smart, okay? I feel like some people only think we're there for like their beverages and all that other stuff, but like safety is our #1 priority, okay? So we're not just looking at you to look at you. We're looking at you to look at you. In the best way possible though, right? Because safety is our #1 priority. We want to make sure that we keep you guys safe as well as ourselves safe. As an added bonus, I have 2 more things that you should not do on the aircraft. Are you ready? So number 8 is do not touch your flight attendant. Just like at your job or any other place, you do not have to touch someone to communicate with them. Number 9, I would say when you get to the bin and you decide which bag is gonna go in the overhead bin and you put it in and you turn it and you kind of do a little dance with it, make sure that your bag actually fits in the bin before you take your seat. Because if you don't, you risk having your bag checked. Let me explain a little more. Let me break it down real quick. So if by chance you put your bag in, let's say the long way, right? And it really needed to go to its side, but everyone else came behind you, and now that bin is packed to capacity. And the flight attendants are closing the bin. They're trying to get the door closed. The gate agent's coming on, wants to know, hey, what's going on? Are we ready to close the door? If they see that they cannot get the bin closed because your bag does not fit, reality is if you brought the bag with you on board the aircraft, you probably don't want it checked to your final destination, and they're going to have to check it. Like, there's no ifs and buts about it. If there's no room for it on the aircraft, it has to go below. You know, there's so many more things that I could say that you should not do on board the aircraft. However, I think let's just use our common sense, right? And if we have questions, let's ask those questions so that we get answers, because some people do not travel all the time. I totally get it. Some people, it's your first time on a flight. That's why I always say to my fellow crew members that it's important to treat people how you want to be treated, and also realize that people travel for different reasons. So I know that you guys have probably heard some like crazy stories about flight attendants, but we're not bad. I promise you guys, we're there for your safety. We want to get you to your respective destination. At least that's how I feel. And if you guys happen to see me around, say hey, say, girl, I watched your YouTube video and I made sure that my bag fit in that overhead bin, and I'm gonna give you the biggest high five, and I'm gonna give you a little extra ice in your drink. Okay, so those are the 9 things that passengers should not do on board the aircraft. But number 10 is for my flight attendants, okay? If you're a flight attendant or a flight attendant hopeful and you're watching this video, let me tell you what we're gonna do. We need to stay hydrated, obviously off the aircraft and on board. But one thing that I know I need to do more of is I need to drink more water. Sometimes you get so caught up in doing your service or going to pick up trash, or you're just always doing something, or the captain's calling, or you're just so busy, right? Because there's so many things that we have to do on board the aircraft, you're not drinking enough water. So my goal this year, 2020 vision, is to stay super hydrated. Because if I don't, I notice a change in my skin. And speaking of skin, let's make sure we are taking care of our skin, okay? All 2020, because we know that air dries us out, can make your skin really, really nasty. I have 3 products that I'm using in my skincare regimen, and you guys, I'm in love, okay? So the first 2 were gifted to me from Footwear. This is their rose quartz and charcoal line, and honestly, if you have oily skin, this is the business. I like to use the daily purifying cleanser in the morning, and then I like to use the gentle pore refining scrub at night. I feel like once I take my makeup off, you know, that pore scrub is like really what a girl be needing. And a couple times a week, I like to use this baby right here, which is an Australian pink clay mask from the company Beauty Secret. It's pore refining, brightening, detoxifying, deep cleansing. It says that it leaves your skin smooth, definitely does, glowing, clean, hydrating, and it evens your skin tone. I actually, obviously you guys can see, I've been using it a little bit, goes a long way. It has a nice kind of like rosy smell to it. If you don't like face masks that have a smell to it, I would not suggest getting this, because even though the smell is light, some people just like things that are not scented at all. But anyway, you guys, if you are interested in, or you're looking for a new clay mask, I'll have a link to this product down below. But that's all I have for you guys in today's video. I hope you guys did enjoy. Comment down below with other videos that you'd like to see. And in the meantime, in between time, until you see me again, make sure you continue to stay beautiful from the inside to the out. Let your light shine. Let nothing or no one stop you from growing, glowing, and not acting crazy on board the aircraft, okay? And don't let nobody stop you from taking care of your skin and staying hydrated as well. All right, you guys, that's all. I love you guys so much. I'll see you in my next video. Peace.